What Bottlenose, I believe, is doing that's so helpful is that it's making Twitter easier to use for multi purposes or from different topics. When I log into Twitter, almost every single time I'm there is for a different reason. Some days I just want to see the news about Facebook. Some days I want the latest update on one particular topic. Sometimes I'm fishing for insider information. Most of the time I want to connect to people, but I'm in a different mood of what type of people and what area that I want to connect to. And with lists, you can only make like 20 lists, and there's a limit to how much lists can help you out with what you're trying to do in Facebook. So I decided to make a little summary of why I think Bottlenose is cool so that I can share with you, hopefully, how to use it. And if I ever get invites, I'll be able to tell you how you can use Bottlenose too. Right now, if you're looking for an invite, I would say go to Mashable.com and look up their article about Bottlenose that came out on the 13th of December and see if there's still invites left. And if there aren't, you can also, if you have a high enough eye roll clout score, you can get in that way. I have a whole tangent about clout that I won't even get into right now. Not that I hate them, I just feel like it's the way it's marketed, it isn't what it is, but that's a whole other conversation. So, what the heck is bottlenose? Getting back to the topic, and how does it help make your experience with Twitter better? I think that's the best place to focus. So, this is the general screen. And when you first come in, you could be on this all tab that will show you like everything that's happening in Twitter. The thing that I like about it is that you can come in and then click on whatever topic that you want to follow. I can subscribe to a particular hashtag or topic. I can, subscribe to just about whatever I want, but it gives me little indicators and little clues that help me sort through the stuff that I'm looking for and just zero in just the part of Twitter of my Twitter stream that I want to see. And that's my favorite thing about Bottlenose. For example, I can click in just zero in on stuff that has happened in the news, what's happening from different news sources. I can zero in on just pictures. There's another filter that comes with it that that filters in just on video content, but I don't really have time for video during the regular workday, so I deleted that one. When I want to see video, I also want to see it from a very specific place, so I turned that off. But it's very easy to just subscribe to a particular topic. I can do any kind of search up here, like let's search for the Women Grow Business hashtag, and it'll show me all of the Women Grow Business um, everything that mentions the Women Grow Business hashtag. It'll also show me, which is what I really like, how many times that thing has been shared. So I can look through this hashtag and see what content is popular without really having to do a whole lot of legwork, which for this, since I edit the Women Grow Business publication, that's very important information for me to be able to see, and it's great for me to see it at a glance. I can also divide it between, okay, this is the general view of what's happening with Women Grow Business on Twitter, and then I can also isolate just people in my network. So that's really a good way to be able to look at that. And I can also, and this is really, really cool, I can also look at this thing they call sonar. It says that it's showing you what's trending around you, but what I like about it is that it's showing me I can go into a lot of detour, a little bit of detail, and then when I get to something that is trendy or interesting, I can click in on that, and we'll come back to that. It also will show me like what's happening right now or in the past hour, in the past day. I would also love to see something like this for like the past month or something like that. Um, there was another tool that did something very similar to this, but for Yahoo searches that's now defunct, I believe. But so I can subscribe to that now, to Women Grow Business as a topic. And so there it is right there. And it's still a little buggy. I don't know why it decided to be empty right now. But okay, not enough data in the stream. I thought we were just looking at all the data in the stream. But anyway, I can look in on any of these searches and be able to find that information. That let's look at one that's actually populated right now. I remember when I first added stuff, it took a while to populate, so maybe that's what's happening. But so here's the one for small business. This just shows me like what has been happening in small business, in the small business topic lately. I'm already subscribed to the topic, but I could also, if I'm looking at the Twitter, if it's bringing me stuff from the Twitter timeline, I can also decide in here that I want to subscribe to that, just that particular person, which I think is also neat. But here's a topic with more stuff in it. So you see, how that's interesting. And going back to the sonar, I could zero in on social media as a topic if I want to, and I could get, less detail about that topic or more. But see, what happens when you click the sonar, you get the highlights of that area, and you can also subscribe to that related search. So that's kind of neat as well. Um, I really like the sonar, so I'm probably going to keep coming back to that. It also allows you, I just said that you can use the streams for assistance, for smart assistants. So, okay, I guess I have to go click the button. This is just showing you the different things that you can set up, and this kind of really has me excited. Like I could, it says that it's coming soon, that I could add a web feed, which I've always wanted to see an integration of Twitter and an RSS reader, because the format of an RSS reader is kind of cumbersome, but if it came in like something that could go with Twitter, I think the two things, they just work so well together. So why don't they? Why aren't they merged? What I really like though, because we just did save search and interests, and we can do the same thing with people and lists, which you'll be able to see that on your own. But you can use an assistant, and the assistants I think are really cool, because it will help you find the kind of things that you're looking for. So breaking news, for example, you could add, just have it just tell you when there's breaking news. It'll pop up notifications just like email. But there's also, you can put together a custom stream, and this is where it gets really interesting. I can search my network or all of, well, I thought you could do all of Twitter, but like I said, it's in beta. Maybe they took that option away, or maybe I'm just tripping. But you can say, look by a certain type of topic, by the people who are being mentioned. Like if you're following a story or reactions to a story, that's something that I've always found difficult in Twitter, because you can follow a story and you can sometimes dig into conversations around the story, but it's hard to track reactions to a story and filter out the person's like at handle. It's not something you can do with the native version of Twitter. And there's some tools like TweetDeck and other tools that'll help you zero in on some of these different things, but not necessarily. Then there's things like, you can find things that are relevant to you by people that you've mentioned before. So if there's a certain set of people that you're talking to, you can have a specialized search of all the stuff that they're discussing that you might be interested in. This is something that could make it easier for me to pay attention to the content that people I'm connecting to are producing. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you spend a lot of time blogging, but you don't actually get to participate in other people's community as much as you would like to, because by the time you figured out they've posted, it like happened a long time ago in internet time. This is something that can help. It also has, you can sort by the social network. Right now, I think it's just doing Twitter and Facebook. Ooh, it's doing Yammer too. And it's named Bottlenose as its own social network, which I think is interesting. But in essence, there's a whole bunch of different streams, and then there's different ways for it to notify you. So if you have Twitter closed, but breaking news is happening in a certain topic, it can tell you. I mean, I think that is so neat for it to be something that's also that allows you to interact with Twitter because you can use this as a Twitter client. You can post directly from here. I can reply to any of these. For example, here's oh well that's so nice. Here's something where you can sit and reply to people who have mentioned to you. And the reason why I'm scrolling down is because I'm looking for something that has multiple people. One thing that I noticed, and I don't know, it hasn't been fixed, is if you click reply, it's just replying to the one person, where sometimes you want to reply to everybody who was involved in this conversation, which, it makes it a little bit more difficult to do. So for things like that, I'm still toggling back and forth between here and Twitter. But yeah, I do find this interesting and useful. And I think that it could be it could replace your Twitter client, especially if you find yourself happiest with, using Twitter on the web. Not that the new Twitter is ugly or bad or wrong, but this is a nice alternative for if you're using Twitter to do research, or the people or the types of connections that you're making in Twitter vary from day to day. So that's why I like Bottlenose. Maybe I can get deeper into a how-to another day. Another thing that I liked was the multi-column feature. I know some of you have probably used like what is that thing called? Tweet grid to follow hashtags before. You can probably use this too. And but I do have another tool for hashtags that I'm going to discuss the next time that we do a video on Twitter. So it's a beautiful day wherever you are. You may not notice it or believe it, but somewhere in some way, it's a beautiful day wherever you are. And I hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that you enjoyed this. Have a good